They showered, dressed up, and left the hotel room. Unknown to Lilian, Obinna, Goze's younger brother, was seated at the reception area waiting for her. He had received a call 4 days ago from his elder sister, Auntie Ada, telling him to come over to her house. Upon his arrival, she began to share her musing with Obinna. She told him for a while that she had noticed their brother's wife had been in very high spirits and no longer cared what she did whenever she was over at her house. She said she intentionally had been doing the most just to spite Lilian, but she didn't seem to care. She went on to suggest that Lilian might be cheating on their brother Goze, because she couldn't fathom the source of her happiness, and she knew for a fact that Goze hadn't forgiven her for calling him a coward. The two hatched the plan to stalk her for an entire week and had been training her for the past 4 days. These last 3 days had been uneventful for them until today. Obinna, as usual, was waiting by the gas station some kilometers from their estates when he saw Lilian drive by, and he followed her from a safe distance. He was shocked to see that she drove into the hotel just outside Ikoyi. He couldn't believe what he was seeing or thinking. He didn't drive in immediately, or he called Auntie Ada reporting what had just happened. Ada was excited and enthusiastic. She ordered him to drive in. The lovebirds were talking in hushed tones, and then suddenly a shout was heard.
Lilian, you're finished. You're totally finished. In fact, let me get this on camera. Big bro, I just caught your wife with another man. Look at them, we are at the Blue Moon Hotel just outside Ikoyi. Brother, this woman is a big cheat. I can't believe what I'm seeing. When Ada told you not to marry her, I thought she was being too extreme. After all, she wasn't going to marry you herself. But I see she has been right about you all these years.
Lilian and Didi stood in shock as Obinna kept on shouting. Then a few of the staff gathered. Lilian trembled in shame as tears flowed down freely from her cheeks. She tried to hide behind Didi's tall friend. He turned towards her and he said to her,
Babe, I'm so sorry, but I can't be here. I can't be a part of this.
The manager of the hotel came over and asked that they all leave the premises. Obinna immediately left without another word to her. Then he drove over to Auntie Ada's house with the evidence of his investigation. Lilian, on the other hand, walked slowly to her car. She got in and cried for over 30 minutes. She didn't know what to do. All sorts of thoughts ran through her mind. She couldn't believe Deji had walked out on her. She remembered that they were just talking about the eventuality of this ever happening, and it shocked her that it literally just happened. Lilian didn't think she could go home. She repeatedly called Deji's number, but he kept declining her calls. Hands cradling her bowed head, she began to wish she could just disappear from the face of the earth. She knew the storm that awaited her back home. Then, her phone rang. She picked up without clearly seeing who the caller was and heard the voice of her son's phone mistress, reminding her that she still hadn't picked up Ikenna from school. Like magic, her body went into default. She started the engine and drove to his school. She got out of the car in a dazed state, barely acknowledging those greeting her, got her son and drove away. They drove for a bit and Ikenna began to speak.
Mom, are you okay? You're unusually quiet today. You didn't ask me how school went today or if I finished my lunch.
Lilian didn't speak, her mind raced. Not sure if she should go home. She knew Goze won't be back yet because he gets home around past 8 p.m. daily. But she didn't want to have any form of confrontation with her in-laws, who she suspected would be waiting in the compound. Just then her phone rang, and this time it was Auntie Ada calling. She ignored it, but Auntie Ada kept calling again and again. Her phone stopped ringing for barely a minute when it started again, but this time it was her husband calling.
Mom, Dad's calling. Pick up.
Not now, baby.
Can I pick up? I'd like to say hello to Daddy.
Okay, pick up if he calls again.
Her phone rings. Ikenna picks up this time and Lilian heard him telling his dad he was on his way back from school with Mom. Ikenna, instructed by his dad, put the call on speaker mode, and Goze began shouting, asking Lilian what was going on because Obinna had called, telling him some story about seeing her in an inappropriate place with another man, and he's choosing not to believe anything yet, so she had better give a good explanation in her defense. He also informed her that Obina claimed to have evidence which he refused to send and was going to wait till he got home this evening. Lilian didn't utter a word, as the guilt and gravity of what she had done assailed her.
Say something, Lilian.
Lilian couldn't speak. What was there to say, she thought? She was guilty, she had been found out, and she brought this upon herself. Lilian didn't even know when the call ended. Ikena sensed something was wrong, but the look on his mom's face deterred him from speaking. She drove off the road and parked briefly to try Didi's number again. She called repeatedly, but he kept declining her calls. She sent a series of messages, but he read and refused to respond.
Love, don't abandon me. Please, you promised you wouldn't. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I need your help. I need your strength. Please, Deji, reply my messages. Tell me where to meet you. I can't go back to my husband. He knows.
Deji read her messages but ignored them. She bowed her head in crushed pain, and just then she got a notification. Deji had finally responded. She opened his message with premature joy and got the second shock of the day.
Please don't call or text me again. I'm blocking your number after this message.
Lilian felt like dying literally. She couldn't believe it, how bored as she knew it was over. All she could think of at this moment was to leave home. Yes, she thought, I have to leave for now. She turned on the engine and began driving. Ikena watched his mom with a worried look on his face. They got home and she hurriedly climbed the stairs to their flat. She thought of her son and what it would mean running away with him. No, she said to herself, I can't just uproot him from school. I don't even know where I'm going to yet. Lucia will kill me when he finds out, and Natiada won't help matters at all. She will pour fuel and set me ablaze if she could. Ikena has to stay behind. When they got home, she changed him out of his school uniform, then into the bedroom to wash him off. She left him there to dish his meal and then hurried off to begin packing. She looked at the time and realized it was just 15 minutes to 6. There's still time, she thought. Ikena called out from outside her door, informing her he was done bathing and off to the dining table. Go baby, she said, I'll be right there. She paused to try Deji's number once more, but couldn't reach him because he had blocked her. Throwing the phone on the bed out of frustration, she closed her bag and then heard a sound that terrified her. It was her husband's car. She heard him driving. Lilian froze. It couldn't be, she thought. Oh no, no, no. She gently peeked through the curtains of the bedroom. I'm finished, she cried. She watched as her in-law walked towards her husband, who was waiting, and Goze looked extremely angry. She quickly rushed to lock her bedroom door from the inside. With hands on her head and tears streaming down, she crumbled like a house of cards. Pain, regret, betrayal, a sense of loss, homelessness, confusion, and fear. She heard voices in the living room, and dread engulfed her. But just then, on the floor by the corner, where they usually keep insecticides, stood a bottle of relief. Lilian crawled towards it and held what she thought was her salvation. She quickly opened the bottle of sniper and paused. Goze began banging on the door. She crawled towards her bed, took her phone and sent her husband a message. Honey, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Then she turned the contents of the bottle in her mouth, quickly before her nerves failed her. She then spat it all out just in the nick of time. She suddenly remembered that she had read an article years back explaining that sniper was a gruesome killer, and it causes excruciating pain as it eats the organ from within when consumed by humans. It wasn't the fastest way to go, and if one is rushed to the hospital in good time, the insides could be flushed. She could already feel her mouth burning. No, she thought, her heart racing wildly. I need a faster way. The banging on the door had ceased. Lilian had assumed they had gone to the parlor to wait for her. She looked around her room, then spotted a knife she had left earlier after peeling oranges in the morning. She reached out for it, her heart pulsating like 1,000 elephants on stampede. She picked up her phone and sent a message to Goze, saying,
I'm so sorry, honey, for everything I've done to us. If I could take it all back, I would. But I see no way out of this. I have hurt you, disgraced myself and our family. And for this, I truly am sorry. I only wish you would have stood up for me. I wish you had defended me when issues with your siblings arose. You made me feel like an outcast, Gozé, and you killed my voice in our own home. I know how you treated me doesn't excuse what I've done, but honestly, I felt lost, unseen, and unheard by you, no matter how hard I tried. You betrayed me, Gozé. You who swore to always protect me. You chose your siblings over me. But how I wish I could turn back the hands of time to endure it all and not let my feelings lead me astray. Sorry it had to end this way. Please take care of our son. Kindly remind him only of the good parts of me.
She sent her husband a message, then raised the blue-handed slim sharp knife before her face, as if to say, you better get the job done. Lilian applied pressure on the left side of her neck, dragging the knife deep inside to the other end. A red splash and blood gushed out like it was water from a broken pipe. She immediately made an attempt to cover the cut as though she had forgotten she intentionally cut herself, but then she let go. Suddenly, she heard repeated thumps against the door.
Lilian! Lilian! Don't do anything stupid, please. Please. Think about our son, Lilian.
Mom, she heard Ikena called out. Please open the door. You're making Daddy very angry and I'm so scared. Lilian, with eyes dimming, lying in a pool of spreading red, whispered, Ikena, I love you, and then total darkness.